How's it going, everybody? Today is Thursday, October the 8th, and we are getting ready for week 5 of the NFL season, and we're going to kick it off tonight with Thursday night football with the GOAT and the Tampa Bay Bucks heading up to the Windy City to take on Nick Foles and the Chicago Bears. And looking like it's going to be a good matchup. We've got a couple of the top defenses in the NFL going up against the Bucks and their resurgent offense, and we've got the Bears trying to get their offense going. They brought in Nick Foles, mentioned Mitch Trubisky to help get the passing game going, and now that they've somewhat got their passing game going, it's the running game that has stalled. Only 28 yards rushing against a tough, albeit a very tough Indianapolis Colts defense. They really hammered down on the Bears last week. Even though Foles had over 250 yards passing, he was 26 of 42, I think 260 yards, one touchdown and one interception. Like I said earlier, they clamped down on the Bears' running attack, and they ended up getting the win at Chicago. And it's not going to get any easier for the Bears this week as Tampa Bay brings in the number 2 rush defense in the NFL. So they're definitely going to have to figure something out if they are going to have any chance against Tampa Bay and the Bucks. The one thing the Bears they do have going, is that they have, I believe, the number 8 defense in the NFL. It's very stingy itself, led by Khalil Mack. Uh, I do believe that Tampa Bay wide receiver Chris Godwin is going to be out. Excuse me. And I believe Mike Evans is also banged up a little bit. So Tampa Bay might be hampered a little bit, but where the Bucks do have the advantage is in the run game, led by Ronald Jones, Leonard Fournette. I believe they got also LaShawn McCoy. So the Bucks do have the advantage, not just on the running game on offense, but their number 2 running attack on defense as well. So it's definitely not going to be easy for the Bears if they plan on getting the upset at home, as they are a 3.5 point underdog. But this is where Nick Foles thrives. He's been counted out. Like I said, a lot of the papers and a lot of the people are pro Trubisky. They don't really like the move by Matt Nagy to start Nick Foles. I think it was the right move. I thought they should have started Nick Foles from the start. Luckily, that Bears defense, and I'll give credit to Trubisky. The week 1, he had the great fourth quarter comeback win against the Lions where he brought them back. But that's the one quarter all year he's really played well. Other than that, it's just not been good football, good enough football for the Bears to remain relevant. It's been that great defense that carried them to their other 2 wins, and Nick Foles coming off the bench in Atlanta and leading that comeback. So, to me, if the Bears are going to compete with the Packers going forward, so people are going to have to accept that it's Nick Foles' team, or at least I believe it should be Nick Foles' team from here on out, and they need to develop the run game and just let that defense carry them, because that defense is special, or can be very special, especially with Khalil Mack, Roquan Smith, just talent everywhere on that Chicago defense. And Tampa Bay, really their biggest threat right now is, of course, New Orleans. They managed to get the victory over Detroit this past Sunday to keep up with the Bucks. Of course, New Orleans has the head-to-head victory, but Tampa Bay, all they could do is take care of what's in front of them, and they've done a good job ever since that Week 1 loss. To me, the biggest difference in that game was the fact that Tampa Bay had never played with each other. and the Saints were familiar with each other. And ever since then, though, I feel like the Bucks have really started gelling together. And you seen it last week when they were down 24-7. The way that offense came together, Brady led them back from a 24-7 deficit to get the win. And of course, when you've got the GOAT as your quarterback, it's not hard to follow a guy like that. Not only uh, did Brady lead them for a come behind win, he broke the record for most wins by any player in NFL history, regardless of any position, at 222 wins. Just absolutely incredible. He just continues to shatter almost every record uh, you can imagine by a player. Doing it at his age is just remarkable. So, um, just enjoying every second of seeing Tom Brady in Tampa. Still getting used to seeing him in that Bucks uniform, but it is what it is. As far as predictions go, uh, I really like both these teams, but I'm leaning towards Tampa. And like I said earlier, as good as I think the matchup between Tom and Nick will be, I don't think the game rests on that. I think it falls on the run games. And I think Tampa has a better run game and a better run defense. And I just think Tampa will shut down Chicago's running attack. And Nick Foles won't be able to get enough help from other places. And Tampa will go on the road in Chicago and get a 27-17 victory on the road. Tomorrow night, we've got Georgia Tech at Louisville, Louisville at Georgia Tech. I'm going to take the Ramblin' Wreck. Both those teams are 1-2. So I'm just going to go with the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets to get the win at home. And then we've got tonight, we've got Tulane and Houston. The Cougars finally getting their first game. Hard to believe they've had every game canceled because of their opponent with the beer flu. Nothing that the Cougars have done. Everything that's happened with their opponent. So hopefully nothing comes up between now and later, and the Cougars can finally get their first game. Dana Holgerson, heck of an offensive coach. I think he will help Houston get their first game underway and get their first win of the season for them as they get things underway in Houston. We've also got the Lakers and Heat game 5 tonight, I believe. I think the Lakers should go ahead and clinch it and finally put the nail in the coffin of the worst NBA season ever, as far as I'm concerned, and not because of the basketball. It's been some of the best basketball as far, especially if you look at the Celtics Raptors series, and even the Heat Celtics series was pretty good games as far as the highlights that I watched, because I still have not watched a live game, and I will not watch a live game because of their political anti-American hate speech. Just will not watch it. I'm glad Adam Silver has finally realized what he has done by saying that they're going to remove the BLM Marxist organization from the floor of NBA courts next year and get the SJW messages off of the jerseys. That's a start, but you've already burned the house down. It takes a lot longer to build a house up than it does to burn one down. So hopefully things can be rebuilt, but it's going to take longer than the 2 months you used to burn it down. With a lot of these fans, including myself, who had been a lifelong NBA fan. But either way, I will have a review after the I will go over the Chicago Tampa Bay game after it's over, and then we'll have another video out. Until then, take care. God bless. Peace.